So in the last lecture, we have seen the problems based on reverse Carnot cycle. So we have seen the theoretical part related to reverse Carnot cycle. After that, we have seen we have solved the problems based on reverse Carnot cycle. Now, as we are knowing that there are some practical limitations to use that reverse Carnot cycle. So because of the practical limitations, though that reverse Carnot cycle is consisting of highest possible efficiency, though that reverse Carnot cycle is consisting of highest possible efficiency, still we are unable to use that reverse Carnot cycle in our practical application. So for that reason, we have to do some modification. We have to do some modification in reverse Carnot cycle so that it will become as a practicable. So whatever modifications are did to have that reverse Carnot cycle as a practicable. So what was the limitations of using that reverse Carnot cycle? So first limit, basic limitation was as that reverse Carnot cycle is consisting of two isentropic and two isothermal processes. So to carry out those isentropic processes, we required the higher speed, or we required the extremely high speed, and to carry out the isothermal processes, we required the extremely low speed. So to conversion of that extremely high speed to extremely low speed, that is impossible in practical application. That's why that reverse Carnot cycle is practically impossible cycle. So to remove those limitations, we did some modification on reverse Carnot cycle. So after doing the modification on reverse Carnot cycle, whatever next cycle will be there, that will be called as a Bell-Coleman cycle. So that Bell-Coleman cycle will be also called as a reverse Breton cycle. So for multiple choice question, this question is important, or this point is important. Bell-Coleman cycle is also called as a reverse Breton cycle, or that is also called as a reverse Joule cycle. So what modification we did in that reverse Carnot cycle to have that Bell-Coleman cycle? So whatever isothermal processes were there from reverse Carnot cycle, so those isothermal processes from reverse Carnot cycle are converted into isobaric processes. So if I'm going to convert, if I'm going to replace isothermal processes from reverse Carnot cycle with the help of isobaric processes, then whatever cycle will be formed, that will be called as a Bell-Coleman cycle. So modification, we are only replacing isothermal processes from the reverse Carnot cycle by isobaric processes, and after replacement of isothermal processes by isobaric processes, that reverse Carnot cycle will become as a Bell-Coleman cycle. So here you are observing that there is one refrigerator. So here in that refrigerator, with the help of that brine, or with the help of that brine solution, we are cooling that refrigerant, or with the help of that brine solution, that refrigerant or heat will be absorbed from that refrigerant. 1 to 2 process will occur inside the compressor. That will be the isentropic compression process. So whatever 4 processes will be there. So here total processes will be 4, and out of that 4 processes, 2 will be the isentropic processes, and whatever remaining 2 processes will be there, instead of isothermal processes, those will be the isobaric processes. So whatever first process or 1 to 2 process will occur, that 1 to 2 process will occur inside the compressor. And that process is nothing but isentropic compression inside the compressor. First process will occur inside the compressor, that is nothing but isentropic compression inside the compressor. Then whatever outlet of compressor will be there, that outlet of compressor will be supplied to the cooler. And whatever 2 to 3 process will be there, that 2 to 3 process will occur inside the cooler. And inside the cooler, instead of isothermal, now this process will be the isobaric heat rejection process. This 2 to 3 process will be isobaric heat rejection process. आपल्या रिव्हर्स कॅनॉट सायकल मध्ये कोणती होती? आयसोथर्मल हीट रिजेक्शन होती, आयसोथर्मल कॉम्प्रेशन हीट रिजेक्शन होती. पण ह्या ठिकाणी कोणती असणार आहे? आयसोबारिक हीट रिजेक्शन प्रोसेस असणार आहे. That isobaric heat rejection process will occur inside the cooler. Then whatever outlet of cooler will be there, that will be supplied to the expander. That will be supplied to the expander. So whatever 3 to 4 process will be there, whatever 3 to 4 process will be there, that will occur inside the expander. And that 3 to 4 process is nothing but isentropic expansion process. 3 to 4 process is nothing but isentropic expansion inside the expander. Isentropic expansion inside the expander, and whatever outlet of expander will be there, that will be supplied to the refrigerator. Here actual heat absorption process will take place. So here outlet of expander will be supplied to the refrigerator, and inside the refrigerator whatever process will take place, that is nothing but isobaric heat addition process. Isobaric heat addition process. In reverse Carnot cycle, process 4 to 1 was isothermal expansion heat addition process, but that isothermal expansion process is being replaced by the isobaric process. So this will be the isobaric heat addition process. Are you getting? So these are the 4 processes which are being involved inside the Bell-Coleman cycle, that is also called as a reverse Breton cycle or reverse Joule cycle. So before proceeding further, let me know whether my screen is visible to everyone. Anyone can unmute yourself and you have to tell me.
Yes, sir, visible.
Yeah, and whether my voice is proper. आवाज येतोय का सगळ्यांना?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So now related to this Bell-Coleman cycle, we have to analyze this Bell-Coleman cycle as like our reverse Carnot cycle. So we have to do the analysis of reverse Carnot cycle, means we have to here also we have to draw the PV and TL diagram for that reverse Carnot cycle, and based on that PV and TL diagram, we have to calculate the value of COP of that reverse. Sorry, we have to draw the PV and TL diagram for Bell-Coleman cycle, and based on that PV and TL diagram, we have to calculate the COP of this Bell-Coleman cycle also. But before proceeding further, whatever this Bell-Coleman cycle will be there, or whatever this reverse Breton or reverse Joule cycle will be there, so this will be the refrigerant which will be used in this cycle will be the air. That's why this will be called as a air refrigeration system. This will be called as a air refrigeration system. And here there will be 2 types of Bell-Coleman cycle. First may be closed cycle, or that is also called as the dense dense air Bell-Coleman cycle, or that may be another will be the open Bell-Coleman cycle. So whatever Bell-Coleman cycle will be there, the refrigerant used in Bell-Coleman cycle will be the air refrigerant. That means working fluid which is passing through this entire system, which is absorbing the heat and rejecting the heat. That is nothing but the air. So here the refrigerant used in Bell-Coleman cycle is nothing but the air. Whereas in case of reverse Carnot cycle, we can use air as a refrigerant as well as vapor as a refrigerant also. But in case of Bell-Coleman, we have to use only air as a refrigerant. And whatever this Bell-Coleman cycle will be there, that will be of Coleman cycle, and second one will be called as a open type Bell-Coleman cycle. Now what is the basic difference between closed loop Bell-Coleman cycle and open loop Bell-Coleman cycle? So here if you see, whatever flow of refrigerant, that is nothing but whatever flow of air will be there, so that air will be firstly taken inside the compressor. Here inside the compressor, isentropic compression will take place on the air. Then that air will be circulated through the cooler. So here at constant pressure heat rejection process will take place. Then same air will be passed through the expander, where expansion of that air will take place. Then here same air will be passed through the refrigerator, so that air will absorb the heat, or heat addition at constant pressure will take place. And again that same air will be again circulated to the compressor, So as that flow of air is continuous, that's why this will be called as a closed type or dense air Bell-Coleman cycle. So what is the another option which is available with us here? what can be happen? So here at the start of compression, so that compressor will take the air from the atmosphere. That air will be compressed inside the compressor. Then that isentropic compressed air will be supplied to the or will be passed to the cooler, where constant pressure heat rejection process will take place. Then that will be expanded inside the expander, and again that will be supplied or that will be passed to the refrigerator, where at a constant pressure heat addition process will take place. And after 4 to 1 process, that air will be escaped to the atmosphere, that will be given to the atmosphere, and fresh air will be taken during the compression stroke. So such type of Bell-Coleman cycle will be called as the open type. Such type of Bell-Coleman cycle will be called as the open type Bell-Coleman cycle. Are you getting? So 4 devices will be there. First device, compressor. In the compressor, isentropic compression process will take place. Basically 4 devices will be there inside the Bell-Coleman cycle. First one is the compressor. Inside the compressor, process 1 to 2, isentropic compression will take place. Second one is nothing but cooler. Inside the cooler, process 2 to 3, that is nothing but isobaric heat rejection process will take place. Next device, third one is nothing but the expander. Inside the expander, isentropic expansion will take place. And last device is nothing but refrigerator. Inside the refrigerator, process 4 to 1, isobaric heat addition process will take place. Are you getting? So these are the 4 devices, and these are the 4 processes which are being carried out inside the Bell-Coleman cycle. Now, related to these 4 processes, we have to draw the PV as well as TS diagram. So to draw the PV and TS diagram, first of all, we'll draw the PV line. So we'll take the pressure parameter on the y-axis, volume parameter on the x-axis, and in case of TS diagram, we'll take the temperature parameter on the y-axis and entropy parameter on the x-axis. Now first process 1 to 2, that is occurring inside the compressor. So the name of that process is nothing but isentropic compression process. Name of that process is nothing but isentropic compression process. So here, as the word isentropic is there, so we have to see the effect of this process on the 4 parameter. First parameter pressure, second parameter volume, third parameter temperature, and last parameter is entropy. First word is isentropic. Meaning of isentropic is nothing but remains same. Entropy remains same. And second word is compression. Meaning of compression is nothing but pressure increases, volume decreases. What about temperature? Temperature increases. So at a constant entropy line, we have to draw the increasing pressure, decreasing volume. So we are knowing the nature of constant entropy line on the PV diagram. So nature of constant entropy line on the PV diagram will be likewise. So first process, So first process will be drawn likewise. So this will be the isentropic compression process. So this is the constant entropy line. And during compression, as pressure increases, volume decreases. That is being indicated by this upward arrow. So this is nothing but isentropic compression process on the PV diagram. Now same process we have to draw on the TS diagram. Pressure, volume, temperature, entropy. Volume, temperature, entropy. Entropy काय होतं? Constant होतं. Pressure काय होत होतं? Increase होत होतं. Volume decrease होत होतं. आणि temperature पण काय होत होतं? Increase होत होतं. Now, as we have to draw the isentropic compression process on the TS diagram. So to draw that isentropic compression on the TS diagram, entropy remains same. That means here we have to draw the vertical line. Any vertical line on the TS diagram will represent the constant entropy line. But what about temperature? As temperature increases, that's why here whatever process 1 to 2 will be there, that is nothing but vertical line pointing upward direction. Vertical line pointing upward direction. This is nothing but the isentropic compression process on the TS diagram. Now what we can say related to Bell-Coleman cycle. So as air is used as a refrigerant, so during suction stroke of compressor, air is sucked inside the compressor, that will be compressed isentropically. And because of this isentropic compression, the pressure on the air will increases from P1 to P2. Pressure on the air is increases from P1 to P2. Specific volume of air decreases from P1 to P2, while temperature of the air increases from T1 to T2 by keeping entropy as a constant parameter. And as the word is isentropic, that means reversible adiabatic, hence no heat will be added into the system or no heat will be rejected from the system. No heat will be added or no heat will be rejected from the system. So this will be related to your or explanation related to your isentropic compression. Are you getting? Yes or no? Up to this point, are you getting? Write in the chat box. Do it fast. Yes or no? इथपर्यंत कुणाला काय क्वेरी आहे का किंवा कुणाला काय क्वेश्चन आहे का? If you are having any query or any question up to this point, you can ask me. What about remaining student? Okay. Now, the next process is nothing but isobaric heat rejection process. Now, whatever compressed air inside the compressor will be there, that will be supplied to the cooler. That will be supplied to the cooler. And what will happen inside the cooler? या ठिकाणी कॉम्प्रेस केलेली एअर कुठं पास केली जाईल? कूलरला पास केली जाईल. कूलर मध्ये काय होणार आहे? आयसोबारिक हीट रिजेक्शन होणार आहे. दॅट मीन्स ऍट अ कॉन्स्टंट प्रेशर heat rejection process will take place. So inside the cooler, what will happen? So this was isentropic compression process. Now 2 to 3 process is nothing but isobaric heat rejection inside the cooler. Now for isobaric heat rejection, here we have to see the effect of that isobaric heat rejection process on the pressure, volume, temperature and entropy. First word is nothing but isobaric. What is the meaning of isobaric? What is the meaning of isobaric? Pressure should remain constant. So during process 2 to 3, pressure of the air remains constant. Now what about second word? Heat rejection. Now because of heat rejection, what will be its effect on the volume? ज्यावेळेस कॉन्स्टंट प्रेशरला हीट रिजेक्शन होईल. हीट रिजेक्ट होते म्हणजे काय होणार आहे? तो गॅस आहे आपल्याकडे. गॅस असल्यामुळे त्या ठिकाणी काय होणार आहे? व्हॉल्यूम काय होणार आहे? कमी होणार आहे. बिकॉज ऑफ हीट रिजेक्शन, whatever molecules of gas will be there, that molecules of gas will come closely, and because of having a close interaction or because of reducing the space between two molecules of gas, here volume of the gas will goes on decreasing. As this is the heat rejection process, that's why temperature of that gas will also goes on decreasing. Temperature of that gas will also goes on decreasing, and as heat rejection is taking place, that's why entropy of that gas should also goes on decreasing. So isobaric heat rejection, the meaning of isobaric heat rejection is nothing but pressure should remains constant, volume of gas should goes on decreasing, temperature of gas should goes on decreasing, whereas entropy of that gas also should goes on decreasing. Now same process if I want to draw on the PV diagram. PV diagram मध्ये फक्त दोनच पॅरामीटर त्या ठिकाणी concern आहे. First one is nothing but pressure, second one is nothing but volume. But as pressure remains constant, so constant pressure line as 2 point is the starting point. So from point number 2, I can draw the horizontal line. So any horizontal line passing through point number 2 will represent the constant volume, constant pressure. But now where should be the direction of that constant pressure line? If I'm going to take that constant pressure line towards this direction, it will indicate that volume of gas goes on increasing or volume of air goes on increasing. But as my volume is goes on decreasing, that's why here horizontal line should be pointing towards this direction. So here constant pressure line, that is nothing but isobaric heat rejection process, will be shown likewise. Here 2 to 3 is indicating the isobaric heat rejection process inside the cooler. Inside the cooler. Are you getting? Now, same process I have to draw on the TS diagram. Same process I have to draw on the TS diagram. So on the TS diagram, as I'm knowing that temperature of air goes on decreases, as well as entropy of the air also goes on decreases. Temperature as well as entropy of the air decreases. At the same time, pressure of the air remains constant. At the same time, pressure of the air remains same. That means here on the TS diagram, I should first of all see the constant pressure line or nature of constant pressure line. So we have seen the nature of constant pressure line on the TS diagram. So likewise, constant pressure line will be there. So through point number 2, I can draw the constant pressure line in the upward direction, as well as I can draw the constant pressure line in the downward direction. I have to decide in which direction this isobaric heat rejection process will be there. So here, as this is a constant pressure line, what about remaining two parameters? Temperature should goes on decreasing, entropy should goes on decreasing. That means towards this direction, temperature as well as entropy decreases. That's why here while drawing that line, while drawing that 2 to 3 line, I will draw that 2 to 3 line in this direction or in this fashion. So this is nothing but isobaric heat rejection process inside the cooler. Isobaric heat rejection process inside the cooler. So this is nothing but 2 to 3 process. Are you getting? Yes or no? Now, whatever outlet of cooler will be there. Now, outlet of cooler is nothing but having higher pressure. So that higher pressure compressed air, will be supplied to the expander. So whatever 3 to 4 process will be there, 3 to 4 process will occur inside the expansion device. 3 to 4 process will occur inside the expansion device, and that 3 to 4 process is called as the isentropic expansion process. 3 to 4 process is called as the isentropic expansion process. So as the word is isentropic, what is the meaning of isentropic? Entropy should remain constant. What about expansion? Expansion word indicates that pressure should goes on decreasing, volume should goes on increasing, and during expansion process, temperature of that air also decreases. Expansion का अर्थ क्या होता है? Temperature decrease होते हैं. Now here I have to draw that process 3 to 4 on the PV diagram. So as point number 3 is the initial point for 3 to 4 process. So through point number 3, I can draw the constant entropy line because this is the occurring at constant entropy. So I can draw that constant entropy line towards this direction, or I can draw that constant entropy line towards this direction. So here deciding parameter is nothing but pressure and volume. So as pressure decreases, volume increases. So I have to draw that line in the downward direction. So I will now draw this line in the downward direction. So here whatever 3 to 4 process will be there, 3 to 4 process will be drawn likewise. 3 to 4 process will be drawn likewise. Now, same isentropic expansion process I need to draw on the TS diagram. So as the word is isentropic, that means entropy remains same. So on the TS diagram, constant entropy means vertical line. So from point number 3, I have to draw the vertical line that may be in the upward direction, or that may be in the downward direction. Deciding parameter is nothing but temperature. So what about temperature? Temperature decreases at a constant entropy. That means vertical line pointing in the downward direction. Vertical line pointing in the downward direction, that will represent the isentropic expansion. Now, as the word is isentropic, isentropic means reversible adiabatic. Hence, no heat will be added to the system, no heat will be rejected from the system. Are you getting? No heat will be added or no heat will be rejected from the system. So this will be the process 3 to 4 which is occurring inside the expander, that is nothing but isentropic expansion process. समजते इथपर्यंत? कोणाला काय अडचण आहे का? If you are having any question or if you are having any query, you can ask me. If you are having any question or any query, you can ask me. Okay. So now last process. So after expansion, expander madun bahir aleli air. So whatever air is coming out of the expander, that will be supplied to the refrigerator. That will be supplied to the refrigerator, and that low pressure air, is also having the temperature as the lowest. Low temperature, low pressure air. So that low temperature, low pressure air will be passed to the refrigerator. So that low temperature, low pressure air will have the ability to absorb the heat from the substances which are, or from the substances which we want to cool, because at the end of expansion process we got the low temperature, low pressure air. Here you can, on the TL diagram, you can observe that point number 4 is having the lowest temperature. Point number 4 is having the lowest temperature as compared to all the temperature, and pressure at point number 4 is also lowest one. Sorry. One minute only. Okay. So pressure is also lowest one. So that air will be having the ability to absorb the heat at a constant pressure. So whatever expanded air will be there, that will be supplied to the, or supplied to the refrigerator. Here inside the refrigerator, isobaric heat addition process will take place. Isobaric heat addition process will take place. So meaning of isobaric means pressure should remains constant. Heat addition, आता ज्यावेळेस एखाद्या एअरला हीट देतोय, ह्याचा अर्थ काय होतोय, त्या एअरचं कॉन्स्टंट प्रेशरला जर हीट देत असेल तर ती एअर काय होणार आहे, एक्सपांड होणार आहे. दॅट मीन्स व्हॉल्यूम ऑफ दॅट एअर विल गोज ऑन increasing. As we are supplying the heat, that's the temperature of that air should also goes on increasing, and at the same time entropy of that air should also goes on increasing. So for process 4 to 1, point number 4 is the starting point. So through point number 4, if I want to draw the constant pressure line, because here on the PV diagram I have to look pressure and volume. Pressure remains constant. That means through point number 4 I have to draw the horizontal line. Now that horizontal line towards this direction or towards this direction, that will be decided by the volume. As volume is increasing, that's why I have to draw the horizontal line towards this direction. So 4 to 1, that is nothing but isobaric heat addition process. That isobaric heat addition process will be drawn likewise. Now on the TS diagram, same process I have to draw on the TS diagram. Same process I have to draw on the TS diagram. Volume काय होते, increase होते. So as constant pressure line we have to draw. So we are knowing the nature of constant pressure line. हे जे आहे ते constant pressure, the constant pressure line either towards this direction or towards this direction, and deciding parameter is nothing but temperature should goes on increasing, entropy should also goes on increasing. So towards this direction, temperature as well as entropy increases. That's why whatever process 4 to 1 will be there, I'm going to draw that process 4 to 1 in this fashion. So this is nothing but the process 4 to 1 called as the isobaric heat addition process. So this is nothing but the PV as well as TS diagram. This is nothing but the PV as well as TS diagram of Bell-Coleman cycle, that is also called as a reverse Brayton or a reverse Joule cycle. Are you getting? So what is the basic difference between reverse Carnot cycle and Bell-Coleman cycle? So in reverse Carnot cycle, whatever process 2 to 3 was there, that was isothermal compression heat rejection process. So that is being replaced by the isobaric heat rejection process. So here also isobaric heat rejection process. And whatever process 4 to 1 was there, whatever process 4 to 1 was there in case of reverse Carnot cycle, that was isothermal expansion heat addition process. So that isothermal expansion heat addition process is replaced by isobaric heat addition process. So this is the isobaric heat addition process. So by replacing isothermal processes, from the reverse Carnot cycle by isobaric processes, then that reverse Carnot cycle will become as a Bell-Coleman cycle. Are you getting? So this is nothing but the PV as well as CS diagram of Bell-Coleman cycle, also called as a reverse Breton cycle. That reverse Breton cycle is also called as a reverse Joule cycle. इथपर्यंत कोणाला काय प्रॉब्लेम आहे का? Is there any problem for any of the student up to this point? That means how to draw that PV as well as TS diagram. If you are having any query, any problem, you can ask me. Have you understood? Write in the chat box. If you have understood, write Y in the chat box. If you don't understood, write N in the chat box, so that I will come to know that how many students got this point. Do it fast. Have you understood? What about remaining student? If you are still, if you are having any problem, you can ask me. Okay. Now we have to analyze this system. Means, so this is the actual PV and TS diagram, which is being drawn in the notes. So 1 to 2 process, isentropic compression. This is isentropic compression, TS diagram. Constant pressure heat rejection, isobaric heat rejection. This is nothing but isobaric heat rejection process. 2 to 3. 3 to 4, isentropic expansion. This is the isentropic expansion process. And 4 to 1, isobaric heat addition. So that isobaric heat addition process is shown likewise. Now here, if I want to draw the, or here if I want to analyze this system, that means here I have to calculate. Here I have to calculate the value of COP. So here I have drawn the PV as well as TS diagram. So here, if I want to calculate the COP of this Bell-Coleman cycle, how to calculate the COP of Bell-Coleman cycle? Can anyone tell me? How to calculate the COP of Bell-Coleman cycle? मला ह्या Bell-Coleman cycle चा COP फाइंड आउट करायचा. कसा कॅल्क्युलेट केला जाईल? By which formula I am going to calculate the value of COP of Bell-Coleman cycle? कोण सांगेल? Can anyone tell me how to calculate the COP of this Bell-Coleman cycle? So I am knowing the simple formula related to COP of Bell-Coleman cycle. COP of Bell or COP of any refrigeration system is given by equation refrigerating effect divided by work done. Whereas in case of refrigeration process, refrigerating effect is nothing but amount of heat absorbed. That is nothing but QA. Amount of heat absorbed divided by work done. Amount of heat absorbed divided by work done. So that is the simple formula to calculate the value of COP of any of the refrigeration system. Now, Out of that, if I want to calculate the value of QA, if I want to calculate the value of QA is nothing but amount of heat added inside the system. Now, during which process heat is being added inside the system? During which process it is being added inside the system? कोणत्या प्रोसेस मध्ये heat addition होते? Which is that process? Isobaric. But tell me the process name. 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 4, 4 to 1. During which process heat is being added to the system? 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 4, 4 to 1. कोणत्या सिस्टम मध्ये ऍड होते? 4 to 1 सिस्टम मध्ये हीट ऍडिशन होते. त्या ठिकाणी जर बघितलं, आयसोबारिक दोन प्रोसेस आहेत. पहिली म्हणजे 2 to 3 आणि 4 to 1. 2 to 3 मध्ये काय होते? हीट रिजेक्शन होते आणि 4 to 1 मध्ये काय होते? हीट ऍडिशन होते. आपल्याला काय कॅल्क्युलेट करायचं? हीट ऍडिशन कॅल्क्युलेट करायचे. सो ड्युरिंग विच प्रोसेस हीट इज बिंग ऍडेड? 4 to 1. ड्युरिंग प्रोसेस 4 to 1 हीट इज बिंग ऍडेड. सो वी हॅव टू ऑब्झर्व द 4 to 1 प्रोसेस. त्या प्रोसेस मध्ये काय होते? हीट ऍडिशन होते. आता जर मला हीट ऍडिशन किंवा हीट रिजेक्शन जर कॅल्क्युलेट करायचं असेल, हीट ऍडिशन किंवा हीट रिजेक्शन जर कॅल्क्युलेट करायचं असेल, तर कोणतं डायग्राम मी यूज करणार आहे? पीव्ही डायग्राम और टीएस डायग्राम. So always keep in mind, PV diagram will be always utilized for calculation of work supplied or work obtained, whereas TS diagram will be always utilized to calculate the heat supplied or heat rejected from the system. Now, as I have to calculate the heat added to the system, as I have to calculate the heat added to the system, that's why I have to utilize the TS diagram. And from that TS diagram, I have to look the process 4 to 1. I have to look the process 4 to 1. Now, how should I calculate the value of amount of heat added or amount of heat rejection? So there are two methods. First method is nothing but by using the formula as a TDS. As I am knowing that dq is equal to TDS. dq is equal to change in heat is equal to T into ds. Change in heat, that is nothing but heat addition or heat rejection, will be equal to T into change in entropy. Whether I am going to use this formula, should I use this formula to calculate the value of QA? Yes or no? Yes or no? Should I use this formula to calculate the value of QA? That is heat addition or heat rejection? Yes or no? No. Why? Milind, can you tell me why?
This formula is used for when temperature is constant.
Okay, this formula is utilized only when there is a constant temperature during this process. Now, whether this is the constant temperature line? No, this is the constant pressure line. So this formula is utilized only when there is a constant temperature during this process. As temperature does not remain constant, that's why we cannot use this formula to calculate the value of QA. Now, what is the another formula? By which formula now can I get the value of amount of heat added or amount of heat rejected?
Q is equal to mCp delta T.
Yeah, so here I have to use the formula as a Q is equal to mCp delta T. mCp का घ्यायचा आहे, सीव्ही का नाही? कारण ही प्रोसेस कोणते? कॉन्स्टंट प्रेशर प्रोसेस आहे. ही प्रोसेस जी आहे ती कॉन्स्टंट प्रेशर प्रोसेस आहे. दॅट्स वाय आय हॅव टू टेक द CP. So mCp delta T. So by using this formula, I have to calculate. By using this formula, I have to calculate amount of heat added or amount of heat absorbed by the system. So here, if I want to calculate amount of heat absorbed by the system per kg of the air, that means here I am going to consider per kg of the air. That means 1 kg of air. What is the capacity of heat absorption for 1 kg of the air? So that will be calculated by using the formula Cp into delta T. during the process 4 to 1. During the process 4 to 1, that means higher temperature minus lower temperature. So QA will be calculated by using the formula. QA will be calculated, that is QA is nothing but amount of heat added Cp into delta T. Delta T is nothing but T1 minus T4. T1 minus T4. So here we have calculated the value of QA. Now to calculate the work done, so here we can calculate the work done by using the PV diagram also, by considering that process as an isentropic process or polytropic process. But here, as those processes are isentropic, so we can use the formula for calculation of work done by using the PV diagram for isentropic processes. Otherwise, according to first law of thermodynamics, we are knowing that value of work done can be also calculated by using the heat addition and heat rejection. So here I can calculate the value of work done by using the equation QR minus QA also. QR minus QA. Heat rejection minus heat absorption. Out of that, I have calculated the value of QA. So in the similar fashion, I have to calculate the value of QR. Now, during which process heat is being rejected? So during process 2 to 3. Heat is being rejected. Here also, during process 2 to 3, heat is being rejected. That's why to calculate the value of QR, I have to observe the process 2 to 3. And I have to see the TS diagram. I have to look after the TS diagram. So here also, this is not the constant temperature line. That's why dq is equal to TdS. I cannot use that formula. And as this is the constant pressure line, so to calculate the value of QR, I have to use the formula as a mCp delta T. Whereas delta T is nothing but change in temperature. During the process 2 to 3. So here, if I want to calculate amount of heat rejected per kg of the air, so per kg of air means I have to take the value of m as a 1. So I have to use the equation as a m as a 1. So Cp into delta T. ह्या ठिकाणी डेल्टा टी घेताना कोणता घ्यायचा आहे? हायर टेम्परेचर मायनस लोअर टेम्परेचर. जर आपण फायनल मायनस इनिशियल घेतलं, त्या ठिकाणी तुमचं काय जणांचं म्हणणं काय असेल, फायनल मायनस इनिशियल घेतलं तर काय होईल? काय प्रॉब्लेम होणार नाही, सेम येईल. फायनल मायनस इनिशियल घेतलं तर काय येणार आहे? T3 मायनस T2 येणार आहे. आणि हे जी व्हॅल्यू काय येणार आहे? निगेटिव्ह येणार आहे. म्हणजेच काय येणार आहे? QR निगेटिव्ह येणार आहे. साइन कन्व्हेन्शनल घ्यावं लागणार आहे तुम्हाला. साइन कन्व्हेन्शनल काय सांगतो तुम्हाला? जर तुम्ही सिस्टीमला हीट देत असाल, if you are supplying heat to the system, that should be positive, or that will be considered as a positive. And if you are rejecting the heat from the system, that will be considered as a negative. So here, simple way, take the temperature difference in positive direction, that is T2 minus T3. So Cp into T2 minus T3. So this is nothing but the amount of heat rejected per kg of the air during the process 2 to 3. Now put these values. Put the value of QA and put the value of QR in this equation. You will get the value of COP. So first of all, we'll calculate the value of COP. So first of all, we'll calculate the heat rejected by the air during the constant pressure process per kg of the air. That means during process 2 to 3. So amount of heat rejected during process 2 to 3 will be calculated by using the formula mCp delta T. But as we are calculating per kg of the air, that's why QR, that is nothing but heat rejection, will be equal to Cp into T2 minus T3. In the similar fashion, we will calculate the amount of heat absorbed during the constant pressure process per kg of the air. So as heat is being absorbed during the process 4 to 1, so amount of heat added during the process 4 to 1 will be calculated by using the formula Cp into T1 minus T4. त्या ठिकाणी नेहमी काय घ्यायचं, पॉझिटिव्ह टेम्परेचर डिफरन्स घ्यायचा आहे. जर फायनल मायनस इनिशियल जर घेतलं तर ह्या ठिकाणी जे काही साइन येणार आहे, साइन कन्व्हेन्शन काय इंडिकेट करेल, त्या ठिकाणी जे काही हीट सप्लाइड आहे त्याला पॉझिटिव्ह साइन कन्व्हेन्शन असेल, जी हीट रिजेक्टेड असेल त्याला निगेटिव्ह साइन कन्व्हेन्शन असेल. ओके, so this is nothing but amount of heat rejected QR. This is nothing but amount of heat added QA. Now here if I want to calculate work done during the cycle per kg of air, work done is nothing but QR minus QA. Put the value of QR. QR is nothing but Cp T2 minus T3. Put the value of QA. QA is nothing but Cp T1 minus T4. T1 minus T4. Now here if I want to calculate the coefficient of performance is nothing but QA divided by QR minus QA. That means I have to take the ratio of these two quantities, this one and this one. So COP will be equal to Cp into QA is nothing but T1 minus T4. QR minus QA is nothing but Cp into T2 minus T3 minus Cp into T1 minus T4 minus Cp into T1 minus T4. So this is the formula for COP. Now here if I will take the Cp as a common term, so Cp as a common term, so at the denominator as well as at the numerator, both the term consisting of Cp, that's why Cp will be cancelled and I will get the formula for COP. COP is given by equation T1 minus T4 divided by T2 minus T3 minus T1 minus T4 minus T1 minus T4. This is the formula of COP. So up to this point in today's lecture we will cover up to this point. Now here after doing some modification on this formula, we have to calculate the value of COP in terms of compression ratio as well as in terms of pressure ratio. In terms of pressure ratio, after doing some modification on this formula, we can calculate the equation in terms of compression or pressure ratio. Now as the time is 2:27, so I think we have to end our lecture here. So whatever next lecture 3 to 4 will be there. So 3 to 4 lecture will be related to the virtual lab of FM subject or FM subject. So that lecture also, that virtual lab practical I'm going to take related to our subject fluid mechanics and fluid machines. So I will show how to perform the practicals by using virtual lab of the subject fluid mechanics. Will it be okay? So at 3 PM we are going to take the virtual lab related to FM subject. So whatever our next lecture will be there. So during this during our next lecture we will cover the points from this point onwards. That means we have to further do the modification in this formula only. That means we have to calculate the value of COP in terms of pressure ratio, compression ratio or expansion ratio. Okay, now you can write down your roll number in the chat box. So that will be considered your attendance. Write the roll number in the chat box. And after writing the roll number, you can end or you can exit from the lecture. So thank you for attending the lecture. Thank you very much. We remain present for the 3 to 4 lecture also.